The other day, I lost my phone, and I began a frantic search everywhere for it. I looked on my desk, and it wasn't there. I looked in my knapsack, and it wasn't in my knapsack. I could not find my phone, and I finally sat down at my desk, wondering where it could be, and I raised up my hand with my phone in it. That's a funny story about losing something, or at least thinking that you've lost something. But losing something precious to you is actually not a pleasant thing. You may have read some stories or heard about people that have lost beloved pets, lost their dogs, and the lengths that they will go to find their dogs, quitting their jobs, taking up their vacation time to find the dog that's been lost. And the joy, the excitement when that lost pet is found. Sadly, there are people who are lost, and you can read and hear about the agony, the despair of loved ones and parents who are searching for, pleading for any information about their lost loved ones. Jesus tells some stories about lost things. In the Gospel of Luke, in chapter 15, he tells 3 stories. The first one is about a woman who's lost a coin. The second story is about a sheep herder who has lost 1 sheep out of 100. And the third story is about a son who was lost. In the first 2 stories, Jesus really doesn't focus on the coin, doesn't focus on the sheep that is lost. He focuses on the desperation, the lengths that the woman who's lost the coin and the sheep herder who is missing the 1 sheep will go to find that which is lost. The woman turns her house upside down looking for the lost coin of great value to her. The shepherd leaves the 99 sheep to go look for the one that is lost. But in the third story that Jesus tells, he does focus on the one that is lost, the son that is lost. And we learn that the son has left home. He has demanded of his father his inheritance early. Some have suggested he is basically saying to his father, "You are dead to me. Give me your inheritance. Give me my inheritance now." And he goes off and he lives unwisely, lives wildly. We might say today he parties his money away, his inheritance away. And he suddenly realizes he is in far worse shape than he ever was at home. And he decides he needs to go back home. And he says, "Even if my father will not accept me, I will take whatever I can get just to be back home." And so he returns home. And then the focus of the story shifts. It shifts to the father. And we learn that the father has been standing out at the end of the road, watching and waiting for his lost son to return. That's the desperation. That's the heartache of a parent, of a loved one who has lost one who is precious to them. And when that son appears, Jesus says that the father runs down the road to greet him, to hug him, to welcome him back. And he throws a great party, a feast for the son that was lost, that is now returned. Now, there's more to the story, including the reaction of an older brother, but I encourage you to read that for yourself in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15. What I want to share with you today is the amazing truth that God is searching for each one of us. He is at the end of the road. He is waiting to greet us, to welcome us home into His presence, into His beloved household. God isn't watching out to condemn us. He is not searching to find us so that He can punish us for wandering away. He simply wants to welcome us back. There's an old poem. I say an old poem. It's from a couple of 100 years ago now, or maybe from the last century. Can't quite remember the dating. But in the poem, the poet describes God as the hound of heaven. In other words, it's a picture of God as a searching hound who will never give up looking for you and me. And that is a comforting thought. That is a picture of God that you can take with you this week.